Right, Mountain Journal finally got pipe soldered, and I had to use an internal coupling and hammer shape the pipe to fit it because it was two different sizes at two different ends of the pipe. Just unbelievable. But I got it down, I got it sealed, and it is holding pressure, thankfully. Aside from that, I'm going to start writing a comedy. And I got all these ideas of it. I'm going to just start setting really piecing together this weird character of this mountain man who's always constantly reflecting on his life choices that resulted in him being here, but though he loves it so much, is like catastrophically failing his psyche. Because there's so much stereotype of men going crazy in these mountains, and though I've been alone for so long, like I can handle this no problem. Like I this is perfect for me. I've never been happy in life, and like it scares me that I'm happy. But so got that video of me chopping down the tree, and I'm yelling at the tree, and you can see me break character a couple times. But I tried to hold it together, and maybe I take it a little too far. It needs to be refined, but it was all on moment, whatever they call that. At that time, I didn't write it or anything, and but the wedge backing, like bouncing out, just gets me every time. That's the key comedic feature that needs to be added. Aside from the stone breaking, trying to use stone as a wedge, which should have worked. I was actually kind of shocked it didn't work. And then the stone starts breaking. The stone is weaker than the tree. Oh, good times. You can see me throw the axe. Like, I'm in complete competence. Like, I hit pinpoint exactly where I was aiming. And I haven't thrown an axe in like 10 years. But I did get really good at throwing hatchets. And I could throw them up to like 30 yards and stick them at the edge of, of a log that I had. And I would just toss them, and I could rotate them and do it like in anywhere in between that distance. And so, like, it's just incorporating that and back in high school, so I got this other idea too, because I know how like the psychology I was reading about, psychology too of youth, to incorporate into this, and how much the first kiss matters to a man. Like it kind of defines their entire life, and so it got me thinking about the girl that I had that kiss with, and she's awesome. She's that just angsty sass, and like though yeah, she was kind of slutty in school. She like all the girls, have sexual interests, and we explored each other. But I never bothered her again. But until yesterday or 2 days ago, and like the way that the Nebraska girls are is different than any other girl. I have tried to get more girls to do this, but they either will block you or just not respond. And so back in high school, we had this other girl that was just like one of our friends, and everybody was really attracted to her, but she's really, really attractive and had an amazing young body. But she only liked one of us that way, and I would always just talk to her, but I wanted to see her naked one time, so why not just ask to see a girl naked? Most of the time they'll just say okay. At least they did back then if they knew you. And it was not even really like grotesque or rude or lustrous. It was just more like, you've seen me without my shirt off. Why can't I see you? Type of thing. That type of innocence. And we never took advantage of each other. It just counseled the interest or the imagination and calmed us down and kept us more level headed and bonded. However, so I asked her, "Can I see you naked? Send nude photos or something." I don't remember exactly what I said. She sends me a photo of her eating like a cheeseburger in this weird, gross way, and holding a giant giraffe statue. And I'm like, that's so much better than seeing a naked girl. Because like I can just Google naked women, but I'm never gonna forget that response. And like only Nebraska girls do this, so I like got that inspiration to do that over the years and study and create this social experiment. And it really is only Nebraska girls that will respond like that. And especially if they know you do. It's so much funnier. It just makes you like them more. And I haven't talked to my first kiss in, I don't know, since high school. So just to randomly approach her in a very aggressively sexual manner, she goes, "Who the fuck are you?" She just starts yelling at me on the over text, or not text, but on Facebook. Brilliant response, and and then I get even more aggressive. She sends me a photo of like the fattest woman you can imagine, turned away and securely eating something. There you go. That's my ass. I just kept going with it, and I got way too into it. Like, I want you to tongue fuck my butthole or your butthole or something. Use your butthole to tongue fuck you with my tongue or something. Just the weirdest thing that you could imagine saying to somebody randomly. That's the only thing I could come up with that would be the weirdest thing to freak her out. And she didn't have any more growth with it. She just perfectly analyzed, "You sound like a lonely motherfucker," and all this other stuff. Really analyzing. I'm like, that's perfect. That is that psyche awareness that I wanted of this like isolated man that's just like that. And so it perfect social experiment. And it's just maybe it's cheating because I know her and how she would respond to something like that. That it's only those Nebraska girls, and only certain types of them too. Because I tried it with one of her best friends, didn't work. But yeah, she didn't have that. She was more submissive type, so that didn't work out. I was trying hard to get her to give me some sort of material that I will remember that instead of I'll remember your body. Like she showed me your breasts. Like yeah, I'll thank you, but what I really wanted was this. I want you to like have some weird photo in response that is never gonna escape my mind. And I'll never forget Brittany sending me that photo of her eating the cheeseburger with a giant giraffe statue. Oh, I saved that photo. It's on my old iPod. Back when you could have photos on iPods. And good times. Just good times. And so, what else to move on to with this writing? Like, I got so much time, so many projects that I want to do, and I got some movies that I want to write. So, like, I want to get into writing, and I think a comedy would be a good start for it because it would be very difficult to go into the other writing ideas I have. Like, one of them is like a video allegory of the creation of imagination and a consciousness in reality of this species that are the perfect artist utopia. And so it's a metaphor for the limited natural resources we have, that as you expand, you have to learn what to destroy from history. And everything, it would start off as like, I guess, fear, and they all just live in it, on it. And then eventually they take the surface, build something, and so on and so forth. And this goes into other stuff, but um, with like how society forms, but this is what I would consider the perfect like human utopian society, and its flaws, how it would last optimally. And then like art would start off very complicated, but then as time progresses per generation, they create layers and layers and layers instead of destroying the core. And that represents like the core creation of our species too. But then you start digging into the core of the planet and destroying nature itself, and you only have so much that you can build with until you get to the outside, where then art becomes simpler and smaller and simpler and simpler and simpler. And more like you would get down to like the atomic level of how simple art has to be to keep this utopian progression going, until they finally realize that they have to either collapse or destroy the past. And so that's like a film that I want to make that'll be derived around consciousness and paradoxes. And it's very complicated to figure out what the main direct story would be rather than just a visual representation of this progress. So, other than that, there's another one. I had a dream. See, these are all, sometimes I dream in movies, and I will write them in my head as I'm dreaming, and it's really awesome when it happens. I've been having some really great zombie dreams the last couple nights. I only get like one or two a year. I've been having two in a row. love zombie dreams. Anyway, so we get to the point like where I'm studying physics, and at that time too, I was obviously studying physics. But I finally like proved this theory, and I don't even remember what it was anymore. But I won a PhD, and it turned out that humanity was being farmed by an alien species. But the aliens didn't have an imagination. So they would then reintroduce themselves to society after a certain level of intellectual and imaginative progress. And uh, they offered me or the PhD or somebody, like Einstein or Newton, uh, a ride to their world to come and view this utopian science system. And we only bring the smartest, and this is where you belong, type of thing. So they bring you there, but it also turns out that they harvest brains and turn them into organic computers that, because they don't have imaginations, they harvest our most imaginative minds to create imagination computers. And it'd be like AI generative design at this point, but this dream was way before that. And I had a few others on my old laptop, but since that screen doesn't work anymore, I don't know if I'll ever get to remember those. And those are just my two main, and so I'm working on this weird mountain man one that is, I'm trying to create an obtuse but simple structure to him that, you know, we'll see. And still keep researching different comedic strategies. I've been watching a lot of SNL too, so that's very inspiring for this type of oddity. And that's why I designed that Mad Mountain Man, like, because I like method acting, so I will literally put myself into it, and it's the only way to really get pure about it. Like, I have to be this Mad Mountain Man. So I made myself angry. I drank too much. I got into it. I was just like, vacancy in the mind. Let's create that vacancy and let's go and get mad at a tree. I'm mad this tree won't fall down. Embrace it. And so, you know, the axe was already going to be destroyed. My nose was in. I hate when it does that. I might go chop some wood. Probably work more on honing my new axe. This thing's awesome. I'm so happy with it. And just enjoy a couple drinks of whiskey before I go outside and chop wood. Cut back on my drinking, which is good. I've been sleeping more, so that's a good sign. If I don't sleep a lot, typically it's withdrawal too, but also cognitive functioning. Like my brain will just go and go and go and go and go, and I can't sleep. Like for instance, I dream so vividly that I create entire worlds and stories, just like that one with the aliens and the brain computers. That like I was a spy in World War II, where we were infiltrating this, and I was working with British spies and American. We were coming together to. I forget. I don't even remember what it was that we found out, or if we were just simply found out. But Russia had invaded some island that was a strategic location, and we had to figure out how to escape it. So we were being hunted by soldiers, Russian soldiers, and they were arming us too at the same time to come out and hunt these people before they realized who we were. So we had to actually blend in to the hunt. And one of our guys got found out, and I'm gonna go up there and start, taking out the people that are about to execute him. And I get pulled down, and the guy's telling me, no, we can't do that because we'll get found out, and then we won't be able to escape this. And then at that same time, a soldier kicks in the door because he saw us walk in there, and we had to explain like why we were just simply hiding because we didn't know what to do, and we were curious and watching the execution. He's like, "Oh, these fucking people like you." And the soldier had his own personality, and my partner did, and like we all just have these backstories too. My brain generates. It's fucking wild. It's tough to remember it all after you wake up, though, sadly. And that I don't think I'll turn into anything. Oh, another one. Yeah, I can't forget this one. This is a zombie movie. So I had this really disturbing dream of people that were being infected by these little insects and turned into human hives. And then eventually, like, I forget all of it, but like it was really creepy stuff. They like you would pretend to be normal, and you would still think you're normal, and try to be normal, but then there would be all these little holes on the back of your neck where they're going into your cerebral cortex and your brain and infesting it and controlling it, turning you into a walking hive. That's how the virus would spread. Well, it's not a virus. It's how the bugs and zombies would spread. And then instead of like a virus or a bacteria or fungi, it would be bugs controlling your mind. It is gross. And I still remember partially of that dream and trying to fight it because then I was infected. It was anybody within a certain area of this zombie would instantly, because of how well the bugs could spread. And then it's like trying to kill every mosquito on the planet. Can you do that? I can remember that one too. Yeah, so that's four, right? What else to talk about? Other than that, I mean, getting the pipes fixed, truck blade, need to clean, need to do recycling. But gas is so expensive right now, I can barely afford it. Just to go to a recycling center would cost me like another half a drive to go to town, which is a bummer. But town's so just full of people right now in general. It's nothing like it used to be. It used to feel like you owned the town because there was so few people. It was amazing. The other day it was like just sticking straight up. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know what happened? Other than that, gotta try to not be so method about what I'm doing. That way I don't end up in jail or something. Yeah, you can see the first soldering. First soldering patch I tried, it didn't get into the crack here. Tried to get it in there so that it would fill this area, but that patch didn't fit too well. I don't have the proper tooling to do it. Got close though. One side was soldered well. But this other fits way nicer. I was a bit worried that hammering it would just have a little few impurities, or not impurities, flaws. But looks like I got it close enough that it's holding. I think partially is because the way it fits loosely, and if it were to just be straight on, perfectly straight on, that's why I try to get it sealed as close as possible too, because then I figured if it does that, then also the outsides it'll create like a bevel of solder, like sort of like this, and that should produce a bit more strength, at least I think. But once it's shifted ever so slightly, then it's like the bushing of a 1911 barrel, where you get a sealed surface inside, outside, and then I don't know. I looked at everything and it seemed to work out that way. It shouldn't, but it does. It's weird, but it's such a tight fit too that like I got it really well fit. It's almost perfect. So not 2,000th, but probably about a few hundredths off, I would say. Not the optimal tolerances. but it is holding, and that makes me so much happier. Chop some wood, I think. My conditioners just fine now. I don't know. Using nice gloves. They're so nice, I just wear them all the time whenever I go somewhere. They're that comfortable. Though I do have an issue with my pinky because of the surgery in my ring finger here. Fits almost perfectly here. This is still just a little long for the pinky, but they're holding up. You can see all the scratches from the wood. And they're still holding up pretty well, for the most part. Thumbs need to be reinforced. They have set. Father claimed to have got me some, but he hasn't been to town lately, so that I can get them. These are nice gloves. I think that's everything. Well, this doesn't. These.